On the stand, she said that guys would climax on her and she would take the cum and rub it on Diddy's nipples. Was this happening in your sessions?
Well, so it is an assumption, right? So, obviously with the veil, there was a very deliberate attempt to hide his identity.
Yeah.
So they never had any interactions or even any outward conversation in my presence. So there was a routine where sometimes we'll be right in the middle of sex and he'll just stand up and walk out of the room. And she would take that cue and she would follow him out. So I did recognize, and I mentioned it in my book, that it became a habit that we're having sex on couches with sheets. We started in towels. I would climax, but she would specifically leave the room without wiping herself, without doing anything to take care of the whatever I left on her. So I assumed that's when he popped up, because once I climbed up, he popped up, he left the room, she popped up, she followed him. So I'm assuming that's when the lathering, whatever went on, happened at that point.
Okay, so at what point did he stop wearing a veil?
It was shortly after. The way that I ended up finding out who he was and they were, because obviously in conjunction with each other, about the fifth time, we were in a hotel called the Essex House. And when I would arrive for the sessions, I would be waiting around a couple of hours. So in this specific time, they put me into an extra room in the hotel suite. And to kill time, I decided to watch TV. And this specific hotel had a welcome message, which was, so when I cut on the TV, it specifically said, Essex House would like to welcome Mr. Sean Combs.
Oh.
And I was like, whoa, like I was blown away, man.
Right. Well, because Puffy is from Harlem, you're from Harlem, so it's hitting really close to home.
Yeah,
Plus,
man.
it's Diddy. Everyone knows who that is.
Come on, man. I that's my era. Like, I grew up in that era. And I felt even more like a jerk, right? Because I literally followed him on social media. So for a year, like, I'm not all the way into his post, but I followed him. Like, he would pop up on my timeline from time to time, and I had no idea.
And you didn't know that it was Cassie up to this point either?
I didn't recognize it.
You didn't put it all together?
Yeah, I didn't put it all together. Like,
Okay.
I was aware of Cassie, but I mean, her hit song probably was...
Yeah, 2009 maybe?
Maybe even before that. Maybe 2005,
No, it wasn't 2005. Cassie.
That Me and You. The song I was familiar with was the Me and You song. When was it?
No, you're right, 2006.
Yeah,
so, you're right. No, you're
so
right.
It's years later.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Okay, so now you see Sean Combs on the screen, and now your mind is putting the pieces together. And you're like, oh my God, this dude in the corner all this time was Diddy.
Yeah.
So this must be Cassie.
Yeah.
And now it all hits you. What did you think when you realized that?
I'm definitely blown away. It all makes sense now, right? Some of the whole, one specific hotel we were in, the London hotel, the suite we were in was so insane. I actually looked it up when I got out of there, and it was like $30,000 a night. So I'm like, all right, this makes sense. But then I'm even more paranoid, right? Because I can't validate none of this stuff or whatever. I'm going from what my thought process is. But growing up in Harlem, growing up at that time, there was always rumors about his sexuality, right? So
that he was possibly gay or bisexual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now I'm worried about, well, look, I don't want it to be a scenario where there's an advance, you know what I'm saying? Or something like, We
got some extra money for you this time.
Yeah. I'm not trying to get to take that literally, man. You know what I'm saying? So and luckily, look, in respect, nothing ever happened, nothing even close. You know what I'm saying?